You never realize how many people you have around you simply because of the fact you guys have a bad habit in common. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it's raining right now. But yeah, simply because you have a bad habit in common, I completely lost my social life once I stopped drinking alcohol. Once I decided to be sober, I stopped seeing people. People stopped hanging out with me. People stopped calling me. Um, all because I couldn't be their drinking buddy. They didn't look at me as fun. They didn't look at me as someone they wanted to be around. And all that really tells me is that they was never really with me. They was never really my friend. Because if all it takes for me to want to be sober, that you look at me as someone that's not good enough to be around you, or someone who's gonna kill your vibe, man, it was never real to begin with. And I'm the type of person, I'm not super preachy. Just because I'm on a certain path, I'm not the type to force my path on you. So just because I decided to, go dry and not drink liquor and alcohol, I'm not gonna be like, hey, you should do this too, or you should stop drinking. No, I don't. I let people live their lives. I let people, discover their journey on their own time. Because a few years ago, you couldn't tell me stop drinking because drinking was fun. Drinking was social. That's how I socialized. That's where I shared laughs and had good times and jokes, and so you couldn't tell me. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell somebody, hey, now that I feel enlightened, that I feel like I'm better than everybody now, and you should. Now I'm telling you to stop doing what you're doing. No, I don't. I'm not. That's not me. That's not me. I let people live their lives until they decide they want to make a change. But I never had no like serious bad drinking problem. I never had like a problem like a real bad like addiction. But I just know that at some point you just have it wasn't good for me. And at some point you have to give it up. And I was wondering also at some point, am I just drinking to, cope with the feelings I'm feeling inside and to mask my mental health and my problems, or am I doing it simply just to be social? I don't know why I was really doing it. But being sober and sitting with your thoughts and your mind is a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. It's really really hard, and sometimes you want to drink, but you just have to use that self control and fight it. That's why I just try to stay away from all temptation. I don't really want to be around no temptation. And with that being said, that means I'm not really around anybody lately because everybody I know or interact with, they, you know, and consume. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. The only way to change, I feel like you have to try something different, something you've never done before. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect to change. So the only way I feel like I could change is I have to cut back some things Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna never drink again in my life, but for this moment in my life, I feel like if I want to change my life, I have to change certain habits I have, no matter how hard it is. And if I feel like it's so hard for me to not drink, then maybe I do have a problem. If it's so hard for me to not want to drink, then maybe I do have a problem, and that's a good enough reason to stop right there. But anyway, I don't want to make this video super long, but I appreciate y'all listening, and I'll just make this video just in case someone, you know, may feel similar or have a similar story. But yeah, thank you, and I appreciate y'all. Bless.